welcome to Intuition to Income. This is Abby Gooch, and I am so excited to share with you guys one more expert who I absolutely adore. She's a dear friend from over there in Europe area, and we're just such soul sisters, and she's actually meeting with her book publisher right now and getting ready to leave and travel the world, and it's just moment by moment, right, Em, that we follow our intuition and just see where it leads us. So, Emma Perry, if you can introduce yourself to our audience, that would be fabulous, and we'll get this conversation started.
Oh, well, so nice to be here, and it's exactly that. It's moment by moment. Even this interview, I didn't know whether to do. I didn't even know about it, and here we are in the moment. And I just called all my guides and my angels and said, you know, you get to support me with this, and they're like, yeah, it's perfect. It's all perfect. Everything is exactly as it's meant to be. So that's pretty much how I'm following my life at the moment, and it's actually more grounded than anything I've ever done, leading my life that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the results are like magic. Yeah. Magic.
Absolutely. I often talk about intuition as just being that guide, you know, moment to moment, and just tuning into that. So wondering, like, how do you connect with your intuition? What is the way you connect with that internal guide for yourself?
You know, actually, I learned this through you, Abby, to like tune into my heart, feel into my heart, and actually, because I mean, I'm a channel anyway, so I'm always channeling, and but I feel into the energy of my heart chakra, and it's from keeping my energy there, and then that's where I channel messages. But you know, I met with my book publishers today to talk about a book that I'm creating called The Alchemy of Pain, and it's all about the feelings, how you use them as a guidance tool, you know, and they're really our best guidance tool. Does this make you, you know, it's not about whether is it a pleasant or unpleasant emotion, but it's like, what is the message trying to deliver you? And if you can see the emotions and you see everything around you, and you start being more conscious and more aware and more present here, that you'll see that everything's a teacher and everything's guiding you. So even if you don't have, you know, you're not a channel, or everyone's a channel, but even if you're not conscious of it yet, you'll see that everything's is a teacher, and everything is signposted. And what may seem like an unpleasant emotion like pain is actually something that can be used in such a powerful way to be transmuted into lessons and things that we can learn, and ways that we can show up in the world, and it will signpost us to where to go. So we have the directions and the signs everywhere. We just need to, when you start seeing every single thing as a teacher, then you know where you're going. Yeah.
Well, I love that you mentioned the heart, right? Because the heart connects us to each other, right? It's like the universal language of love, right? Like we feel it without like using words, without just saying anything. We can feel that vibration. And then what comes to mind as you're talking about is feeling good. So our second chakra is that intuitive center, right? So it's like to keep feeling good. And then if something doesn't feel good, it's like, what is the message there? And then when we find ourselves in painful moments, like you said, like how can you alchemize that, and what can you learn from it that then can put you on this new level, this new playing field, really, of intuition in your life?
Yeah. It's exactly that. And I think each time it's almost like you can see it like a path. So if you we were just talking about like this whole Wizard of Oz theme. That was my last book, where you're on the yellow brick road, and what was interesting was you start off in this monochrome, like black and white life, and then you hit the technicolor road, which is really about going within yourself, and it's when you go through that, then you can come back out to the black and white world again, which is the present life, real here, and be present. But you don't just do that walk once, you walk it over and over, and each time it's almost like it ascends, and that's the ascension process within ourselves, or going up the chakra system. You know, that each time we walk that, we learn something else, and we feel different things. And it's really as we become higher and higher that we realize we don't have to use the pain to deliver the message. We can use pleasure to deliver the message and really live this path in a pleasurable, beautiful way. It doesn't have to be struggle. It's only struggle to really break you open, I think, and when you don't realize that it can all be joyous and beautiful and magical in every moment.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just feeling that feeling good message. It just keeps coming through, right? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
do you give yourself permission to feel good? Because I almost feel like society, different cultures can be repressed. And even American society feels a very repressed society. You know, I mean, I'll go to like Thailand or Bali and they're like, woo! And then they come back here and be like, this is how you are, you know?
Yeah.
Like, to really give ourselves permission to feel good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so funny that you said this because I'm in London, and you can tell I'm like whispering a little bit because I'm a little bit rowdy for a Londoner, and I'm looking around and everyone's really business. And you know, my way of doing business is like have fun, and
Right.
like you know, you don't need to like be fitting into like a certain mold. So it's so funny that you said this. It's actually like, you know, am I in this room right now and being a bit more animated and not really giving enough, you know what? And so yeah, it's like it's also like giving yourself permission, but not expecting to have to seek permission from others. I
Yeah.
think that's like you don't need the permission from anywhere.
Yeah. It's like the internal validation. I think it's funny. My phone's going off as we're talking about happiness. But yeah, I love that. The internal validation. And the way that I teach that and feel that is the inner knowing, you know, and I don't know if you agree with that, but I feel like the intuition is our inner knowing. It's the truth within us. So when we feel that connection to source through us, as us, it's a knowing, it's a peace, it's a truth, it's something within, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think when we don't know, it's better to just say you don't know and realize that when you don't know it's because like you're not meant to know, and when you're not meant to know, it's you're not. When you know, when you know something's the right path, you just know it. When you know it's the right person to be in your life, you know it. You don't think, oh, should I keep this amazingly beautiful person in my life? No, you just know. But when you don't know, oh, should I have this person in my life? It's because it's not the thing. It's like, trust that, you know, trust that.
Trust that you don't know sometimes, and that it's okay that you don't know, you know?
Yeah. So it's either that, okay, you don't have to be definite, or you're just not, we're not meant to know yet. Just let it be. Let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love just, you know, I obviously I'm English and I don't normally quote Shakespeare, but I don't want to be like stereotypical, but you know, to be or not to be, this is the only question that we have, to be or not to be. And when you have that piece of just letting things be, and letting emotions be, and letting everything be, and just really being and being present, that's when you can quieten everything down to feel your intuition and to know what you need to know, and know that what the messages you've been given are perfect. And if there's anything you don't know, that's fine too, because we don't need to know everything.
Yeah, I was listening to something, you know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is? He talks about like how the mind works. And he described it, what I would call intuition, which is like, we have like our little mind, like our conscious mind, and then like our bigger, higher self mind. And that's the part that's like operating automatically, like our blood, our breath, everything's automatically happening and you don't have to control it. And it's to like surrender to that higher part of us. So like if our conscious mind doesn't know that there's another higher part that's consciously like working it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think of when you say that.
Yeah. And actually today I was channeling, so I started channeling singing, which is very fun. And I started channeling like so I guess it was like my angel singing to me, but through my voice. And then it was me started singing, like, what am I going to create today? So it was like my higher self was coming through. Anyway, and the only reason I think that we kind of separate them out and think like, oh, higher self or lower self is for me, it's almost just externalize it and get a better understanding. But really I think the more that you fall in love with the joy of life and you follow in your intuition, that you just become this one with your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're up here, you know.
Yeah, you're embodying it. You're embodying that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By listening to your feelings and your knowing. And it's like a dance, you know, with life. It's something as simple as like walking down by the beach and like I saw somebody in front of me and we're like, which way do you go? This way or that way? And it's like, well, this way feels right. I'll go this way. You go that way. It's like that subtle movement of just like really flowing with life and trusting it, you know?
Yeah. I used to dance the lambada, so it was very subtle, you know. You had to really not take the leads. You have to really allow your partner to give you the slightest little This little just signal, tiny, almost you can't even feel it, but it's there and you lead, and it's so gentle and passionate
Mm-hmm.
and beautiful, and you feel sexy. And I think that's what life, when you're really listening to what those subtle signals, which really aren't that subtle, but yes, it's lovely what you described.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that's coming to mind is trust. Like, how do we trust more what we feel and what we know and move into that space?
How do we trust more? Wow. Well, the more you go on this path, you just see it so beautiful and so many amazing things happen. For me, my journey, not my journey started, but the true part of my spiritual journey started when I lost my mother and I had a car accident. And after that, so we were driving, we're in the States, and I was driving her. She was coming to visit me on holiday because I was living in the States at that time. And we had a car accident and she died. And, it tore my world apart. But then really unusual things started to happen, like someone stopped at the side of the road to help me. And he's still in my life 8 years later with his wife. They're like my second parents. I go to visit them. I'm going to live near them, and this man's wife's wants to give me her wedding dress when I get married. It's a really close relationship. And, as I say this, I feel this pressure on my head. I just know that we're looked after. The night that I had the accident, a hotel let me stay there for 3 days for free, and it may seem like the most horrific things happen, but the beauty that has come from that and things I could not understand, and the journey that's come from it 8 years later, how could we not be looked after? It was so divine, all the things that have happened. To take me then, and 8 years later I'm doing the same journey. I didn't even realize at the same time of year, again taking the same yellow brick road, but I guess at a higher level. And when you see these divine things happening and how looked after we are when we trust, because you got to trust to do it. But when you start to trust and it gets even more magical, then you're like, yeah, I'm going to trust because it's worth it. It'll be fucking amazing. Oops, sorry. It'll be amazing.
Just be yourself, Emma girl. I love you and adore you. And I have to tell you, as you were talking, I was getting chills. I've uncovered some memories from my childhood lately, and it's just been like, why, God? Why would this stuff happen, right? And the answer keeps coming over the last 3 days. So this is the third time you've said it. Well, somebody said it. And when it's three, it's always like, okay, get the message. That it's who you've become. It's what's happened as a result of that. That maybe the car accident or the physical death of your mother or the abuse that I went through, all the different things were hard in the moment, but who did you become? What's happened since then? How has love played its role perfectly, Yeah. And it's easy to channel. It's another thing to integrate it, right? So I'm on my journey of it, and I think we all have our own versions of it. But how can we come together in that oneness of truth and intuition to be led by our intuition, by the trust of that part that is within us, guiding us, that is connected to that part that's watching out for us.
So, yeah. Was that a statement or was that a question?
I think it's more a statement, that there is that part that's watching out for us, and the intuition connects us to the greater whole. So if we're listening and trust that there is a divine unfoldment, that we can actually see the gift, that we can actually see the growth, and we can see what's happened as a result of it in a positive light.
Hugely, huge. And the more you go on this journey, the more you feel that you're loved so much.
Yeah.
And, I think it's worth saying that 2017 has been a very challenging year. It's been I think for the people who are wanting to wake up and step up into something new, now is the time. The ones that really want their dreams, either you get this is the year for dreams to come true. And I think that if you've been on that journey and you're like, okay, I'm taking the leap of faith, I'm going to trust, that you're starting to feel something different in this year that was not there last year. The first day of this year, I had a new man enter my life who's lovely, and it may just be this, this moment of love, but pure love, so divine and pure intentions. And what are we like? What day is it? We're 8 days in, and something different. And this has all come from 8 years, again, an 8. And my mother passed away on the 8th of March. You know, it's trusting and just knowing that we're loved and coming from a place of love. And it just takes you to like the most beautiful heights.
Mm-hmm.
So like you having me now on your show, and it just, you know, following intuition and following this love for the world and for myself and for the world. So really do it all from love, yeah, and intuition and trust, all the things you've been saying, 100%.
Well, I just remember we were talking about that guy like a month ago, so I'm happy to hear that it's like manifested into form, so that's exciting. Yeah, it's all on its own time, right? Like, I feel like that's such an interesting, time is such an interesting thing, but the fact that you're saying 8 multiple times to me is about alignment. So what if timing was just about alignment?
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, again, it's trust. So the guy that's entered my life in England, in London, I'm going to the States next week, and he's had to go back to his country this week. So there's no way it can develop here. So it's like, well, why did this amazing person who straight away we feel this soulmate connection come into my life? Have no idea. I don't know. It couldn't possibly develop into anything, you know. I've got a new journey in the States. So, but it's this trust that, okay, it's an exchange of love. For whatever reason, it's love in its purest form, and I get to experience that. And I don't know why, but it's, again, it's trusting that we're looked after and that there's something bigger that we don't understand and that we don't need to understand. We're just on the journey, enjoying these moments. Yeah. So.
And I just hearing yet, you know, there's nothing developing in that way yet. So just to trust the process, you know, sometimes we can't see it all yet.
Yeah.
So Emma, what advice do you have for people who are working in their business and they're wanting to develop their business through their intuition? How would you advise them to increase their income by listening to their intuition?
So what I would say is, are you enjoying yourself? Do you love everything that you're doing?
Wow.
Are you doing everything that you want to do? Is there anything you're doing that you don't want to do? And be honest with yourself. Take off those like rose-tinted glasses. See it for what it is. Is something lowering your energy? Are you doing your emails and thinking, oh God? Is there something that you, like, do you really want to do it? Because I run an accountancy practice, and I don't want to do accounts. No, I hate doing accounts. That's so true. I love combining business and spirituality, but I hate doing either one just by itself. You know, I love bringing them together. And so that, you know, when you can really face up to the truth of what you enjoy doing, and then outsource in some way, in whatever way it is, to anything you don't want to do, then you'll start to see that you can earn income in a different way. So by doing what you're good at, what you're really good at, and what you really love to do, and combining it with helping, serving the world in a way that is what is the way that you want to serve the world, not because you have to, not because you love to do that, making a difference, and you'll start to see a different results, I think. And I'm trying to think what else I was going to say with that, but I can't remember, so I guess it's not for now.
Well, and I'm just getting like, what lights you up? What lights you up, right? So what just like brings that lightness? And maybe like for me, it's like, I love doing these, right, and working with clients, but after this, I'll probably go for a run. Like that lights me up. So maybe it's not directly in your work. It can be, it should be, but what else can you do to light you up? Is it a run? Is it meditation? What is it, you know?
Yeah, for me, there's no separation. I don't get the separation, you know? It's doing your work what you would do anyway. But
Right.
I'm trying. I don't even, you know, this is just fun. I have a business where I can like do this. I don't know how I make money. I mean, I will like, do you know how I make money from it? You know, I'm doing what I love, and connecting with people is what I enjoy doing, and so are you, and you make a business from it. That's it.
It's so funny. Intuition and fun, baby. Well, the whole idea is that like there's that soul blueprint within you, right? So if you're opening up to the truth of your guidance, you'll be led. And so going back to what you said at the beginning is, listen to what your feelings are telling you. Listen to what makes you feel good. Light yourself up. Have fun.
Yeah.
And like the path is there for you. And if you do encounter pain, what does it have to teach you? I think that's the biggest thing that my heart is learning from today is like, what's the lesson? And then like, once you can get that, fucking let that shit go. Do you know what I'm saying? Because to keep holding that negative energy, it is exhausting for the body. It's really like I don't know how many new cells are produced every day, but it's a lot. So if you think about like each day is a new life because you have new cells, well, open those to love, to the light, to the truth, you know, rather than
Yeah.
rehashing the old past.
Yeah. Again, it's on that road, on that, if you're envisioning that yellow brick road, you can't, if you're looking back here, you can't, it's very difficult to be looking forwards and making your way up to that path. You'll trip over and all sorts of, you know, things will happen if you're looking backwards all the time. It just doesn't work. But I think that, you know, I think, you know, there's a process with pain that if you're going through pain, allow yourself to feel it. Don't get completely drown in it, but allow yourself to feel it. It's the avoidance of the pain that really is damaging. That's the thing that takes energy. If you were to just allow yourself to feel it and then, you know, move it up your body. So if you go move it up the chakra, so you have it in your root chakra and you feel it, and then you move it up to the chakra where your sacral, where you create from that, and you create something beautiful, whether it's art or your writing or whatever it is, and then you bring it up to your solar plexus so that you can really feel the strength that going through that painful thing has helped you to find. And then you move it to your heart where you feel, you know, I have compassion for myself and other people because of this. And then you to your throat chakra, I want to communicate this and share this with the world. And then to your third eye, where you can then see the lessons that you've taken from all of it. And then to the crown, where you feel I can connect with spirit and everything, and I can see how this pain initially has transcended into something so beautiful that's connected me with everyone and everything. Then it becomes something different.
So what I'm being guided to do is ask you to take us through a process of that. So what you just described, can you do it in like a little 5-minute meditation where people can actually connect with whatever pain they're feeling, whatever the disconnect is from their intuition. So when they drop into their knowingness, whatever they bump up against, if there's anything they're bumping up against, to take us through that process. I always like every speaker just to share like an interaction, and I'm like, this is yours, especially since you have a book coming out on it, which by the way, you're going to have to tell us that again when it's coming out.
Yeah.
So just give us the experience of your love, sister.
Okay. I'm gonna channel this from my angel, Araya. So move your energy into your body, close your eyes, and think about what you feel, what you hear, what you see, and let go. Allow yourself to completely let go and to be, and allow yourself to feel everything that you can feel right now. What do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel you're tired? Do you feel agitated? Just allow yourself to feel until you feel nothing, and then allow yourself to feel everything. Feel everything that you can feel. Feel your fingers, feel your toes, feel the top of your head, feel the air around you. What can you hear? What can you hear? Listen to the sounds. Can you hear tiny sounds in the back of your mind, in the back of your home? Can you hear the air outside? Now feel everything. And now take what you can feel and bring it up to your stomach area. And while you have the energy in your stomach area, what do you feel you want to release it into? Can you see a vision of what you would like to paint or draw? Can you see the words that you'd like to write? Would you like to write something down when you finish this meditation? Think about what you'd create if you could do that right now. Just stay there for a moment. What would you create if you could create right now? Now take what you'd create and move that energy up to your solar plexus so that you feel the strength that comes from that. And allow that strength to come through the whole body so that it comes up through your shoulders and it comes up through your lips, through your nose, through your eyes, through your head, and feel the energy come through the back of your head and then back down the back of your neck, the back of your back, the back of your arms, your legs, your feet, and you feel you're wrapped in this warm bubble of energy, of strength, of power, of beauty that has all come from everything that you felt in this moment. And allow yourself to take a deep breath in now. Hold it and then out for 3. And now feel, listen, and pause. And now open your eyes.
It's cool. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I'm still feeling the integration of it.
Wow, yeah. I have a message from my angel for the viewers, if that's okay.
Of course.
Emma, thank you for the meditation. I know it was your first one to do. I'd like to encourage everyone to do things for the first time. Emma's never done a meditation, and that's okay. Just trust that you understand, that you're fully supported in doing what you wish to do, and that you have the strength to do everything, and that you're beautiful. And I bring my light and love to all the viewers today. I have a name, but it doesn't matter because we're all one. And I share my light with all the viewers today, and I bring light and love into their hearts and souls. My wisdom for the day is to follow your intuition and follow the love. See love in any moment, and you'll find your way to your heart. If you don't know where your heart is, it's okay. It's in all the moments that you can find love when it's most difficult and most challenging. Bring that love into your heart in any moment, and you'll find that you can get through anything, any argument, any annoying person, any stranger. You can find it in your heart by just seeing what can I love in this one moment. You'll always find something, and I leave that all with you. That is all.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And is there a way that people can connect with you if they wanted like a reading or a channel for themselves personally?
Oh, yeah, they can do that. The best way to connect with me at the moment is on www.theconsciousnetworkers.com. Yeah.
I'm in a network. It's fun. It's fun to be connected. Like you said, we're all one. Thank you for that message. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Because I think that I was given healing at the same time, so I feel really calm and great. And I just thank you so much for your work. You're such a beautiful soul, and I just love you, obviously.
I know. I love you too. And I guess I'm wondering, is there anything else that you'd like to leave the audience with? Any other piece? That message was so beautiful. Almost just feels complete right now. And I just always ask the question, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we log off?
Yeah. I feel like I just want to say, take your own journey, really visualize yourself walking your own yellow brick road in your path to finding joy and love, and know that it exists, but it doesn't exist at the end of the path. It exists in every moment. And really allow yourself to find that in every moment. And sometimes people may show up on your path and they may tell you that it's not there, that you can't find that or don't find that, but just find your love for them and thank them for whatever lesson they've taught you. Find your, don't stay in your value of love, and still find the love in every moment. It's there in every single moment. You don't need to wait. It's not at the end of the road. It's all the way. Yeah.
It's in the moment. It's in the moment. I guess what my guides are starting to share with me is there any part of your journey that you would like to share of how you have followed your intuition to get here, to the awareness of your connection to the universe and the ability to share with so many now?
Yes, yeah. So about 7 months ago, I felt miserable, and nothing was working out, and I've written this book on how to find your purpose, but I wasn't taking my own advice.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I could have taken it while I wrote it. Jeez. That's the journey, right? That you give it, the way you help other people is your own journey. I was like, So I was living this life that I hated, and I wasn't feeling alive. I was hiding from the world, really not contributing in any way, just hiding in my flat, and my intuition, and also a beautiful soul that showed up on my path said, have you ever considered selling your flat? Things aren't working out, you don't have the money, you don't have this, you don't have that, like, sell your flat. The status quo is to have property, but you don't need to. Find your purpose, or be your purpose, more like, because I knew my purpose, kind of. And I trusted my intuition, and that journey from the last 6-7 months, I am unrecognizable. Everything showed up on my path of what I needed to learn, and it's been a challenging 6 months, but boy, have I transformed. I was going to sell my flat and travel the world to find myself, and now I'm traveling the world because I know that I'm whole and complete and perfect, and so is everyone else, and I'm traveling to create meaning and set up a community to help people become more conscious and love what they do. It's not about me anymore, it's about everyone else and our oneness. And that was all from seeing the signs, the feelings of actually my life is who, this is really being honest, this isn't working. It's not I'm miserable, really, really, even though I'm telling the right in the world of how to get through this misery, I haven't achieved it yet. This has been channeled to me, but and so being honest and guiding your intuition, and as I went on that path, it's been hard, but there's beacons, not many, but a few beacons that I could trust that were shines a light on the path, and that I could recognize as my tribe that could help me to continue on this path. Oh, and just one thing on that, people show up in your life, and it's important to not make them wrong, and to be able to still have the love for them, but also to be honest when they're not able to take you on your path at this point, and you're not running away from them, but sometimes you may need to change your situation, because it's important to be around the communities that will, that will help you with this path, so yeah, that's really what I can say. And I'd really like, if anyone is on this path, I'm here, please reach out to me. I'm very passionate about people having loving and fulfilling lives and balancing their work with their love and financial security. So
Well, what I love is that 6 months later now, or 8 months, how long it's been, you're actually getting ready to sell your flat and leave that world of isolation or whatever behind, so you come on the other side. And you talked about coming here and just shining your light in all the places that you're going to be guided to. It's just really beautiful to see, that there is always the other side of that. And, you learned and now can share that message with other people.
Yeah. And I'll be in the States in a week, so it's do it,
Follow that. Oh, that's what was coming through as you were talking about. So intuition, you were talking about following the love. And at the same time, I feel that as we have the opportunity to follow love, fear is also present. And so we choose to follow the love or the fear. And the fear is usually based on the past programming of the mind, but the love is going to be in the heart. So that's why I always teach the first step of intuition is to feel it in your heart, and then drop into that place of your knowingness, and then take action from there, because otherwise it's you could just be looped in that spiral of fear, but the heart and the intuition will cut through it to actually move you into the truth.
Yeah. So there's these two dual motivators. You're either motivated by fear or love, and that's why it's so destructive. It drives so many negative things, fear. So it's if you can find the love in any moment and be driven by that, whatever it is, then the result will be much better. It'll be magic.
Yes, I love that. Be driven by love, not fear.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Gemma. It's always so fun to connect, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon, and safe travels. And so also, Emma, if you have a website that you left, also an email, people want to reach out to you, do you have an email that they can contact you at?
Oh, yes. So it's info@theconsciousnetworkers.com. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's info@consciousnetworkers.com. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.